Good morning, students. You are welcome to class this week. Now, this week we are going to be talking about the forest habitat, the terrestrial habitat. Last week we talked about aquatic habitat. So this week is for terrestrial habitat, and I still remain your biology tutor, Mrs. Jane. Here are the learning objective. At the end of the class, you are expected to be able to describe the terrestrial habitats, to describe the different types and characteristics of terrestrial habitats, and you should be able to describe the distribution of plants and animals in a terrestrial habitat. Now, what is terrestrial habitats? They are the ones that are found on land, like your forests, like your grasslands, like your deserts, like shorelines and wetlands. Terrestrial habitats also include man-made habitats. Man-made habitats like farms, like towns, the cities, and habitats that are under the earth, like the caves and the mines. Let's take a look at the types of terrestrial habitats that we have. The first one is the marshes. The marshes. Number two, we have the forest habitats. Number three, we have savanna. Is either you call it savanna or you call it grassland. And the last one, we have the deserts. Is either you call it deserts or you call it the arid. Let's take a look at the first one, which is the marsh. You can see the pictorial diagram on your screen. The marsh is a lowland which is flooded most of the time. It is flooded and grasses and shrubs are usually found growing in the marshes. You will see grasses there, you see shrubs. The marshes with trees are called swamps. Any marsh that you see that has trees, those ones are the ones we call the swamps. Then a marsh is just a transition between the aquatic and terrestrial habitat. We often call it a transition between aquatic and terrestrial habitats. And a marsh could be temporal, occurring only in the rainy season as a result of the excessive rainfall, and it can disappear during the dry season or permanently occurring all through the season. Now, the adaptive features of animals in a marsh. Adaptive features are those features that enables the plant or the animal to live and thrive successfully in that habitat. Now, the first one is possession of web feet for swimming and maneuvering. Now, you can take a look at the duck on your screen. You can see that the duck can successfully live in a marsh because it possesses a web feet that can be used for swimming, and it can also use it to maneuver. Then another one is possession of water repellent feathers, which help them to stay dry and insulated. Another one is possession of strong beaks for catching aquatic prey. They have strong beaks for catching aquatic prey. Don't forget that all these animals, like dog, they are microphagous organisms. They filter their food from water. So what makes them to be able to filter water or filter their food from the water current successfully is the possession of strong beaks for catching their prey in the water. The second one is the forest. Forests, they are critical ecosystem and they cover about 31% of the Earth's land area, and they are homes to more than 80% of terrestrial species of animals and insects. A forest is a community of plants that is dominated by trees. What is dominating the forest is trees. And the presence of a forest in a biotic community is determined by some abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are the non-living factors of the environment, like rainfall, humidity, and temperature. Take a look at the adaptive features of animals in a forest. The first one is the chameleon. The chameleon have a disruptive coloration. That is, it can change its color anytime to blend with that of the environment. And they do this in order to avoid prey, to avoid predators. Then monkey, take a look at monkey. Monkey has a strong limbs. They have a strong limb that can be used for grasping on trees. They have strong for grasping trees, and they have a long tail which can be used to cut around the trees. Then look at O. whole has a very bright eye. The eyes is very, very bright, sensitive. So the eyes can be used to detect prey or predators from a very far distance. So it enables it to quickly ward off or run away from predator. So all these are adaptive features of this animal to live successfully in a forest. The third one is the arid land. The arid is either you call it the arid land or you call it the grassland. Now, the grassland is a plant community in which grass species are dominant. Look at the picture on your screen. The grass species, they are dominant here. There are, however, scattered trees and shrubs, but they are scattered, they are not densely populated. The grassland lies between the forest and the deserts. They have low rainfall, they have high temperature, low humidity, and high light intensity. All these ones are the major abiotic factors that produce savanna habitat. Here are the adaptive features of animals in a grassland. Take a look at rats. The rats, they have the ability to burrow into the soil in order to avoid excessive heat of sun and fire. They can burrow into the soil successfully. And we also have gazelle. Gazelle has the ability to outrun their predators because they have a very strong limbs. So they can outrun their predators. Is a successful adaptive features of these animals in the aside from gazelle, we also have other animals like zebras. The zebras, they move in groups. And why do they move in group? They move in group in order to scare their predators. Animals moving in group, predator will not be able to they will not be able to come into their midst because they know that when they come into their midst, they are done for. So is a good adaptive feature of animal in a grassland. Then we also have elephants. Elephants have a very large body, and the large body scare predators. They scare predators. By the time predator sees elephants with this body weight, it scares them off. So it's a good adaptive feature of elephants to live in a grassland. The fourth one, the last one, is the deserts. The deserts. Now, the deserts, they are habitats where water is scarce, little or no water at all. The habitat is either dry because water is scarce or it is permanently frozen into ice. Rainfall is very low with high temperature during the day and very low temperature during the night. Sunshine is very high and direct to the ground due to low vegetation to protect and to shield. Here are the adaptive features of animals in the desert. Number one is the camel. You can see your camel on the screen. Camels drink lots of water to sustain themselves for several days, and they can also walk several days without drinking water. It's an adaptive feature of animal living in the desert. So they drink enough water where they find water, and as a result of that, they can travel a long distance without drinking water and without being tired. Then the second one, we have the tortoise. The tortoise have an impermeable shell which prevents water loss from its body. It's an adaptive feature for it to be able to live successfully in the desert. This is your assignment. Number one, you are going to tell me what terrestrial habitats are. Then you tell me how you think animals adapt to life in a forest habitat. Then you describe the arid land and you state their characteristics. Thank you for listening. Till we meet in our next class. For any further inquiries or questions based on what we have discussed today, you can send all your questions to my mail directly at jane.ukulu@greenlandhall.org. I'll be there to answer all your questions. Until we meet in our next class, do have a blessed day. Bye.